Welcome everyone back to Pommy and Oz. Hope we're all doing really well. If you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Can't thank you enough for the support. We've got an exciting one for you today. We've got a big bumper draft video for you. So let's, without any further ado, get into it. So what you'll see here is our little draft board. So we've got a host of names here for you, and we're going to go through it together. But you can see Josh Smiley has taken out pick 1 post the end of a big month of draft coming up to the end of July. We really like Josh here. We've gone through the data, we've gone through the visuals, all that malarkey. He is an absolute quality footballer, real modern day, and I think he will be a big shot for pick 1. We can see here, this is just your provisional picks, so you can see Richmond we'd expect to take pick 1. Up next, we've got old Finn O'Sullivan, midfielder, 181. He's a real solid get. Levi Ashcroft, Brisbane, landlocked father-son. In at 3, Jagger Smith, Sid Draper. I'm really hot on Sid Draper. And you can see here, he's falling around the St Kilda pick. Definitely the type of player I think St Kilda would probably have quite a few of. But definitely one that I'm a big fan of. I think he moves incredibly well. He's got some real nice points of difference as well. Leonardo Lombard, as we know. Gold Coast landlocked. Luke Trainer. So we're getting into the key defenders. You can see this draft is really stacked. And probably from, I would say, here to the next 20 picks, you're looking at not a huge amount of difference in the terms of ceiling, but also floor. I think you've got a really deep draft this year. And you can see a lot of midfielders already, but Luke Trainer, modern day, 193, key defender up at Sandy. He's had a really solid year, and he's got all them facets there to be that kind of like tall intercept defender, good little user of the ball. His mates, Murphy Reed, as always, Sandy boys are really hot, real cool customer. And incidentally, around Melbourne's pick, so I reckon all 3 clubs here would definitely be looking at him. Fremantle would probably like a player of this ilk, in my opinion. Sam Lalore from GMV Rebels, really solid. This guy's really versatile. Got a really good engine on him. And Tovi Travalega, I'm a big fan of this guy. Huge fan. I think he's grossly underrated and one that I'm really excited about. Got real talent. He has pinch hit in the midfield as well, which is really a big point of difference. Harvey Longford, Taj Houghton, my boy. I'm a huge fan of this guy. This guy here, I think, he's really underrated. I'm a big fan. He's definitely someone that I've been keeping an eye on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where he may end up. I think he is that modern day superstar type player, and one that's really underrated. The things he does, the hard work he works in the tight space. I'm a big fan of this kid. Bo Allen playing down back, but also playing pinch hitting in the midfield. He's got a real strong body of work recently, and one that's really pushing the top 10. Could see a team taking a punt on him, but you'll see here from 10 to 30 now, this is really, you're splitting hairs. You really are splitting hairs about it. And I really think that this here, if I had picks this year, I would quite happily trade out, especially with the 2-year pick rule coming in now. They've got 2 years worth of picks. I think if you can get 3 or 4 picks, like if we look at the moment, Fremantle are a really good place. Like, I wouldn't mind dropping back from pick 7. You know, if one of these clubs here really wants someone in the top 7, I wouldn't mind dropping back and getting another pick here, but really good. This one here for me is a really interesting case. Christian Morales. People have talked about him quite at length this year, and he's really fallen down the draft board. And people talk about his use of the football and things like that, but I will say this. I think you are looking at a real point of difference here. You're really a massive point of difference. He's an NGA prospect as well with that Hawthorn, with the new rules. Hawthorn are going to love this because he's sliding down, and usually that kicking efficiency and stuff goes against you. In the real leagues, though, it's something that you can back yourself quite easy to get. Joe Berry, Jack Whitlock. I'm a big fan of this guy. Played down back and played in the ruck. He's a real important little asset here, and one that I'm really excited about seeing. Xavier Lindsay's had a really solid year. Stints in the midfield as well, inside as well, playing across half forward, but adds a winger. Definitely one to look out for. And Isaac Keiko, real interesting one this, because I think he could be higher. Essendon, landlocked, they'll be chuffed with the changes in the AFL. But yeah, Essendon, NGA type player here. Real solid little player, and one that I think will slide. Up next, you've got some more. Samuel Marshall. He's a really solid little footballer, Samuel Marshall. He's really showcased it. Is part of the Lions Academy. He's another one of them players that is landlocked. Definitely one to look out for here for me. Brisbane do it all the time. He's definitely going to be one of them players that I think, you know, you're not going to talk about, but he's been averaging 23 touches for the Sandy Dragons. Real uses his height well, real conduit out the back half of the ground. And I could see him converting into more of a halfback flanker, an aggressive halfback flanker. So Conor McKenna there only for a year or so more. Definitely got a lot of traits. Tom Gross slightly slid down. I'm a huge fan of Tom Gross. Big-bodied, bustling, really hard to beat. And then you've got a few key forwards here. Job Shannon and Harry Armstrong both had really strong ends to their finals. Both of them really strong aerially. Both averaging over 2 goals a game. This could be a really interesting one. I do think Job is slightly superior to Harry. But this could be one of them interesting cases, because when you look at how hard it is to find key forwards, this could definitely be an area that, you know, North Melbourne, Richmond certainly could take a punt here. And there's a couple of sides here, you know, with 2 picks around the same time. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sydney maybe have a sniff at one of these to complement their young little players. A lot of talk about McDonald being going out, so that could be it. Harry O'Fowl, classic key defender here. I'm a big fan of this guy. Really strong one-on-one. Really solid, good defensive craft. Could be a real good little pickup here. Matt Whitlock, Jonty Fall, and Alex Dobson, a ruckman finally here. This is a real project-type ruckman, and his back end of his Sandful form has really showcased that. Definitely worth a little stab in the dark. Particularly here, I could see, you know, Adelaide looking at this. So Riley O'Brien's been in and out the side. I think they are a 2-ruck system. Alex Dobson could be that point of difference in the next 2 or 3 years. Carlton's Ben Camporelli slid down, and this is what I told you about this. Now an outside midfielder playing on the inside. Did start his year this year at halfback. A lot of players you can see similar, and this is just how strong this is. For me, a player that hasn't really showcased a lot this year, but Tyler Welsh, absolute pickup. So at the start of the year when we did this, he was top 10. He slid down. This kid here is the best kept secret in the draft. Should be a top 10 player. I'm telling you now, you watch him in a couple of years in the AFL, he will kick ass and take names. Then you've got some really strong players here. So from 30 to 50 here, there's a lot of depth and role players here. And players that I'm really excited about, like really seeing this year. Really seeing and showcasing their wares in the AFL. You've got Tom Sims, Lucas Camporelli. Again, another guy that's played halfback and also played in that midfield outside position. This is these players here, real scope. Harrison Oliver, Cale Garing and players like that. Real scope here in a good system to really kick on. Alex Taru, I'm a real big fan of this guy as well. He's got this real big body, but his interceptability towards the back end of the year has been really strong. One to really look out for you, because I think you're going to see someone here, mark my words, will be top 10 when we redraft it in 5 years. Malachi Champion, a guy that probably been plagued by inconsistency. And with the NGAs and stuff, there was... It's a funny one because these are one of them things is, are they desperate for Malachi Champion? I don't think they are. It's a real interesting case here because I think, obviously now where he is, he's probably going to end up at the Eagles. This would have been a really interesting one though for me. Hamish Davis has really showcased a real back end. A lot of these waffle boys have really showcased it from the WA. Phoenix Hargrave is another smoky for me that could go higher. I am a big fan of what he does. He's really strong inside and out. Got a nice little use of the ball as well. Head down type footballer. Logan Smith, GWS. GWS just seem to cultivate rucks in that academy, don't they? We've had a few Madden and co come through. I don't think they'll pick him up. I think they've got too many. But this would be one that if I was looking for a baby ruckman to learn, like you look at Carlton, they've got Murkoff and Hudson O'Keefe. This one wouldn't be so much of a bad punt. Definitely very mobile for his size, being at 204. But he's got some really good ruckcraft about him. And his ability as well to really bring the ball to deck is quite strong. He's got all the facets. Definitely a type of player that you would look at looking moving forward. Angus Clark, Jesse Detolli, these players at Northern Knights, Lucas McInerney, very similar types of players playing both ends of the ground. Nice little bit of pace. Xavier Ivisic at Geelong, this guy here, you can just see Geelong getting him and like suddenly he's like Jai Clark 2.0. Luke Urquhart is a really interesting prospect. This guy here can do some things with the ball at his feet that is absolutely sensational. And rounding up the top 50, you've got Luca Greco, Damon Hollow, my big boy, Oliver Kubank, like a swingman type small player at Tassie Devils. A really exciting little prospect here. And I think this guy here has got a little bit of talent, someone that you can really do it. And then we round it up here at pick 54 with Retcheko, but some really good little players just going further down as well. Now, these are real speculative picks. Joe Pike was heavily talked about in the mid-season draft. He's had a really good year. He could be one that I could see being rookied. You've got Tom Gillette, who I can see, just being completely picked up. And then there's a few players down here, but that is how we've got the top 50. There's probably 2 more of these videos before we really finalise it. But any questions you've got about these players, we will be starting the individual profiles for the top 100. We have got 100 gnomes on there coming up soon. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know who you hope your club picks out. Till next time, Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.